Welcome to part 4 of PABCAB, the tutorial series where I briskly collect all badges of Phoenotopia Awakening. I said last time that I was going to take a particular path to get the not-for-profit badges. For starters, I'm going to ride this ferry, and he'll allow me to do it despite my lack of Rin. That's the essence of the badge in question. It's funny how that ferry provides the you look familiar option, even though I've never met the person at the South Ferry, who I don't think offers the crossing not-for-profit. Tried to phrase that properly. So now I'm going to hit up South Castella Bridge. The gimmick in this fort is that some of these boxes look ordinary, but others of them are like filled with lead or something. So they're heavy enough to fall to the bottom of the water where they weigh down pressure plates. Also, quick strat for getting this energy gem. In any percent, if you wanted the energy gem, you would do something like this. Not like that. Hang on. It's gonna take me a while. Like that. So you get blasted back by the bombs and Gale enters a glitch state where she can move freely in a tight space, despite like her sprite going right through it. I'm gonna do a deep dive here, and again, despite my lack of lifesaver, I can get that moonstone. Now I'm gonna head up here for another moonstone. Notice below me the musical notes engraved in moss. These will come into play on the other bridge in the exact same place, but that's another story for another time. There's also a heart ruby over here. Also, since I didn't get to demonstrate it in the Zero trial, I'm going to show off the quick method for getting the moonstone in here. Just like that. Now these musicians here, I'm going to talk to them to trigger a Heart Ruby side quest. One of the longer ones in the game. For the next part, I'm gonna equip the Serpent's Rod. And that's because I have to fish that glowing turtle in preparation for an infamously long trade quest. Or a trading sequence. Crud. I'm gonna have to free up an inventory space. Since I already have experience diner, I might as well discard my consumables. I'm gonna need 2 more inventory slots because I'll be scooping up neck tiers in here in preparation for the Mr. Planto side quest. Oh gosh. Okay, made it. also might as well scoop up the energy gem on the way. Also, resting at this inn is another not-for-profit service, number 2 out of 3. And in the adjacent room, you'll find a cat to pet. Find another nectar up here. Ow. Hold up. Let me wait out an energy regen here. Another one. And heart ruby. I was gonna menu flash and see how many nectars I have, but... Oh, I can check right now. Oh, I need one more. Certainly not the first time I've been hit with a wombo combo like with a spider and Scaber. So normally I would do this kind of hover to get the heart ruby I got earlier. Because Gale's hitbox is barely up enough to grab it, but I kind of tried to improvise and it didn't exactly work out as I intended. Going for another overworld encounter, this is not it. As if to slap me in the face, I could have gotten that nectar instead. This is it. Crap. Hang on. Next up, this is a fishing spot in Panselo that contains an energy gem. Simple enough to navigate with the double crossbow. And the rocket boots. Now to visit the final GEO Dungeon in the route. Try not to get any encounters along the way. This puzzle, or this GEO Dungeon has a bunch of irregular Sudoku puzzles. So that's why it's in the route, because it's so quick and easy. Once you know the solutions. The book is glowing because it teaches you the rules of Sudoku. As an avid puzzler, I already know, so it doesn't matter to me. So as I mentioned before, it's time to take the tramway back. Where I'm going to pay another visit to the GEO Club. Use my tickets to redeem rewards. Then I'll reap the benefit of sleeping in the GEO Club bed. It's free after gaining membership. Since I have the turtle, I can give it to this guy. And obtain the pearl ring in exchange. Jeez. Really fumbled over my words there. Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that there's also a moonstone to obtain here. I just submerge the line in here, present it before this glowing fish, which I will then proceed to fish out. So I guess it would be ideal to take the lower left entrance instead of the upper right. But I always forget that until I look at my notes. Back to Daea again. Another interesting up input. I don't know if this is the right place to... No, I think it is. I just took the wrong path, too. Now this is the final not-for-profit. 3 out of 3. Hold on. I'm trying to find my bearings in the notes. Yeah, there's one more thing to get here. But anyway, so I chose to save the pianist for last because I don't know if I mentioned or clarified, but in version 1.0.1, that pianist locks you out of the not-for-profit achievement when you, or achievement badge when you save and reload, or something to that effect. So basically it's just a version-friendly route, in a manner of speaking. So that moonstone's simple if you do the javelin rolling exploit. Now I'm gonna pay a visit to this antique shop. Oh. I was going to equip the lunar watch, but it turns out I entered the cutscene trigger too soon. You have to hear about lunar artifacts. That's part of this side quest. I'm going to submit the lunar watch to free up inventory space. And also because I'm done with the not-for-profit stuff. Now, this puzzle here rewards you with the heart ruby. I'm demonstrating the quickest way to do it normally. You could technically do a bomb boost into the tunnel there. As was once demonstrated in the Discord. But it's stupidly precise, so I'd rather just do it the normal way. Now I'm gonna get an encounter here, if like any symbols could spawn. That's not it. That's not it. Doggone. Looking for a trio of bandits. west of the antique shop. I care not for the boars I attack. They're asking for it. Also, I'm not even killing them. Or not even provoking them, for that matter. They're just taking the hits like men. Or like boars, I guess. There's the encounter. Darn, you just had to slow that down by charging. So that's that. Onto this dimly lit cave here. Which contains an energy gem that's easy to get with the rocket boots. Which happens to be close enough to Kingdom Bridge, the next destination. That level of energy conservation was unnecessary. So remember the song engraved in moss? This is where to play it. That leads to the attic of this place, which contains a treasure chest and a moonstone. Nice and close together. Next order of business. I'm gonna thread the bait into this little stony maze here. That way it reaches the field of vision of this fish. And this fish is holding another moonstone. I don't have the life preserver. I don't have the lifesaver yet, so I have to take care not to drown. In Atai City, I'm finally gonna learn the Song of the Ouroboros. And in fact, work towards freeing Lisa. Because the lifesaver is in fact needed for Moonlight Ravine. Gonna hit up this location for one of 2 Ouroboros scrolls in the route. Try to get the precise height of javelin here. Yeah, like that. Gotta wait out an energy regen, especially because of how long that took. That is... hang on. Close to what I intended. Just gotta actually hover over that arrow. Are you kidding me? Is this too low? Well, of course that won't work. Let me try a different height. Not like that. Well, I probably could have worked with... Oh, come on! Now you're just screwing with me. I didn't think I'd spawn that far to the right. What is this? I'm supposed to be able to cheese this, not get screwed by it. Hang on. Screw it, I'm doing this the intended way. Could have sworn I was able to do that. But I guess I've lost it. Anyway, so that's that. One of 2 Ouroboros scrolls needed for the spear bomb technique, which highly facilitates the Daea shooting gallery. And also may or may not be required for most dangerous arsenal. I keep calling it that, it's ending arsenal. That's better. Bo's free running here is an energy gem side quest. Another sort of video game paying homage to the speedrunners in general. The Oasis is where I will initiate the Mr. Planto side quest, so I'm gonna go ahead and spoil my neck tears real quick. Blow up this rubble here, that's where he is. He was trying to get some shade, but I destroyed it, so now he's kinda not a fan of that, so I had to do his bidding or whatever. While I'm here, there's a glowing fish that holds an energy gem. Now, if you ever struggle with the fishing in the game, what you can do is, when the reticle moves, press the minus button, and you'll be able to tilt in the direction while time is stopped. And so it uses up less energy trying to fish. Used to breaking all that rubble down in 2 shots. Save often, as they say. To think that I'm finally doing the 2nd dungeon after all this stuff I did, and saving the world and whatnot. So here I'm going for another overworld encounter. First of all, I do not want to start off on a dais. Second of all, I want a bunch of tumbleweeds rolling at me. This is not the one. Getting pretty bad encounter luck this time around. Possibly karma for the miracle of last part. Go ahead and use the cannolis as safety heals, I guess. there's the encounter. 4, 5, 6. The 7th one from the right contains the moonstone. Now I'm going to hit up this location. Because this tower holds an energy gem. It's easy enough to climb around with the sonic spear and destroy rubble with the kobold blaster. Let me try that movement again. This is what I meant to do. Don't know how I didn't pull it off considering what inputs I was using. Normally there's a lot more box pushing involved with this climb. Upsy daisy. And that's that. Onward to this overworld location. See this box here? If you destroy it 4 times, the 4th one spits out a heart ruby. Now in this location you'll see musical notes with particular borders. And the solution is that song right there. Because the borders are listed in a particular order. Now if you talk to this NPC here, it clues you in on how to navigate the maze. There are 2 solutions here. And they diverge in this room. You take the lower left path. You definitely want to avoid that gold patch because if you fall into it, the dungeon ejects you into a quicksand pit. So that path was all for an antique pin, 2 of which are required for a heart ruby in the game. Now if I take the upper right path, and keep taking the upper right path until this room, that leads to a heart ruby. I should have had the kobold blaster equipped. Because like when you obtain a heart ruby or energy gem, it kind of locks you into pulling up the start menu or using quick equips, which really sucks. That was the quicksand pit that I just passed. That's the one that the maze ejects you into if you take a wrong turn. Now is the time to use my next energy booster. Because I'm going to be doing a series of liftoffs. A little pet term I thought of during the clarification of PABCAB4, I think. You don't actually need 2 explosions, I just did it for good measure. Anyway, doing a series of liftoffs to get to heights that I'm not meant to reach. Gonna hit up this observatory for a quick moonstone. Those bomb explosions alert that stealer there. Thankfully they're easy to deter with a 5-way kobold blaster. If you let them have their way, they steal 5 Rin and then depart to the skies. Very deplorable. So I take that path up there, partly to get the second Ouroboros scroll. And partly because it feels quick. So this Ouroboros scroll. Quick strap for this room. See if I can pull it off. Yeah, like that. The gimmick behind this puzzle is using explosive boxes to knock back metal boxes. Also, this is awkward. I think I can salvage it. What a waste of energy, though. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. That was interesting. Kinda never had that happen before. That's that. That's all the Ouroboros scrolls in the route. You'd normally have to climb all the pillars there to get to that area. But I bypassed that thanks to all the lift-offs I did. And to deter the enemies here for good measure. Also, that terrain is different from the others. Partly in that if you walk over it, it makes a different sound. Make sure this guy's gone too. You could technically lift off and bypass this door too, but I'm gonna be backtracking through here, so I'd rather not bother. See if I can... Ah, whatever. Just take the L. If you took the lower path in this area, you'd encounter a Slargummy Jr. So might as well take the upper path, and also deep dive for this Moonstone. You could technically stack all the containers over here and a bomb, and then still be able to do that deep dive. So you could get there without any of the tools I have or the lifesaver. Well, basically just the Sonic Spear and the Rocket Boots are the supposed requirements. Now there's a secret wall, or a secret passage there. Leads to another Moonstone. It's easy enough to find from a casual standpoint. I did not need to do that. Kind of a force of habit, that was. That was not very efficient. Pretty simple stuff. Now if you go over here, in this trio of pots you'll find another honey brew. I have so much room for it. I technically could have done that while waiting for this barricade opening, but hindsight and all that. So now I finally made it to the Ouroboros Hideout. gonna save after this cutscene because it's so long. I'm gonna start off in the tavern here. Give Melody 100 Rin. First of all, to trigger as part of the Heart Ruby side quest with the musicians, and second of all, for one of the Uro guard keys in the route, I'll only be scooping up 4 for this visit. Also, look at this song here. It will be played in a later area. It's actually just a hidden wall. You don't need the sonic spear to climb up. I just kinda did it again as a force of habit. That Kunoichi there has another Uro guard key. Excuse me, Kunoichi. I'm gonna stealth my way around this guy. Play the song in the... or past the tavern. Go into this little secret area here, which contains a treasure chest. Again, unnecessary sonic spear. Just feel like I'm so spoiled by these tools. So this is a stealth trial. One of 3 trials in this dungeon. If you get detected by anyone, then the barricade at the end falls down. Also, you see that glowing bandit there? He's holding an Uro guard key. It seems kind of slow, but it will have to be obtained eventually, so might as well get it over with. I have to wait for these 2 bandits up here. Pretty simple stuff. Anyway, the 5th Uro guard key is on the way to the Lunar Drake, which I won't be obtaining until later. Number 2 is the combat trial. It could be pretty nasty if you only have the starter equipment. But with the Cobalt Blaster, it's a cinch. Especially with 5-way point-blank shots. Explosive rounds work too. They also have a knockback stun sort of effect. Please attack. I pressed the Y button like 5 times and only at that particular point did it. Anyway. So this boss is kind of weak to explosives. If this were with the minimum requirements, I would have done like leaping attacks, although the bombs while she's sliding around work too. So that fight was not quite what I had in mind, as in kind of contingent, but whatever works. This trial normally involves dodging arrows. I don't remember offhand the exact name of the trial, but frankly I don't really care. Because really it's just use the sonic spear and bypass everything trial. With the, of course. Bypass this big old obstacle course. It's a quicker bypass than what Birdy came up with, which is to have a stink root in hand and get eaten by the second nearest dragon snare. As you may learn from an NPC in the tavern. But if you're hasty in learning that, she'll charge you for the information. Well, hasty in attempting to learn it. Cat here. I'm gonna access the 2 locked doors in this area. Nice aim. That's a side quest for a heart ruby, a moonstone, and another heart ruby. I'm going in here to get what I mentioned earlier, the stink root. Discard some useless items. Not for the reason I mentioned, but for a different reason. Namely a heart ruby side quest later on. This area contains a challenge for an energy gems and the preparation for a later heart ruby. I'm gonna challenge myself by using the bombs rather than the kobold blaster. It's really simple stuff. Could have done it way faster had I used the kobold blaster. And it's plain to see why. Because like instead of having to throw those 2 bombs, I could have just fired 1 kobold blaster left or right and then anyway. I want to tell this guy that he doesn't look so tough. Disrespectfully yawn at him. Otherwise, he'll try to get a fine out of you. It's 100 if you provoke him, 50 otherwise. But also you can bully him into paying you 30 rye, which is fun. I'm going to pay a visit down here just to unlock the metro. That's for a backtrack later. Open this door here. Take a safety save. At this point in the game, I'm going to demonstrate an exploit for farming infinite Rin. That's in this fight here. I mentioned in the creds of the Zero Trial run that When a speech bubble makes that noise, mashing does in fact expedite it. So if you hit Birdy with an attack that does less than 15 damage, she drops 5 Rin per hit. Until she's dropped 50. And you'll notice because the Sand Drake was in its rolling animation as I transitioned, its sprite was kind of stretched. More importantly, when you exit and re-enter the fight, then the Rin counter resets, hence the infinite Rin. Also, I meant to place the Sonic Spear before the cutscene, that way my energy could regenerate properly. The challenge with the Sonic Spear is getting it low enough to hit the wall, or no, high enough to hit the wall, yet low enough that you can actually get on it, preferably without having to do a leaping hover. Kind of like that. So in the meanwhile of farming for Rin, I'm also counting towards the quick hits and hard hits badge. Ironic how she says now that's just petty even though she's a thief. So let's check the progress on those real quick. 48 hard hits and 215 quick hits. As with other badges of the same variety, I'll be keeping a count on the side. Once I get to the quick hits, I'll do a jump cut. So for every farm, that's 9 hard hits and 1 quick hit. Is what I'd like to do first. If it was any other or any earlier patch, I'd go purely with charge attacks. But in the current patch, without the accessibility option, that 66 or 65 as I was counting. You can change count during the screen transition or the cutscene. I normally go for the screen transition even though the alternative is probably a better idea. So I'm up to 75 hard, 218 quick. Getting quick and hard hits on Birdy. Now there's an innuendo if ever I've come up with one. So that's the contingency for having the Sonic Spear too high. plus energy boost. I don't even know if that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I got an extra hard hit there. Six. I tried to tumble there. No, that's 224. I can check real quick. See, I have the hard hits badge right down to the exact requirement. Also 224 towards quick hits. So I think now is the time to jump. Now is the time to jump cut. After I do this pummeling, that is, just to demonstrate, like how I get 10 quick hits in one thing doodle. Down to my last 30 quick hits. Regarding when to take count, it's better to do so during the cutscene with the hard and quick hits, or like just getting the hard hits and sneaking in a few quick hits in between. But with pure quick hits, it can go either way. Just a simple 1 or 2 backspaces and a 1 or multiple number keys. Anyway, so now my rune count has gone up from a few hundred to a few thousand, which will be helpful for the rest of the category. Oh wait, that doesn't work. Explosive Cobalt Blaster rounds only hit if the Great Drake is bouncing around. Now I can do my last 10 quick hits during this auto-scroller segment. Now I'm gonna snag these doggy biscuits for a Moonstone side quest later. Hack. I was trying to feed this guy a bomb, but I didn't need it because the enemy was at low enough health. Right when the retreat text box disappears is the moment to screen transition. And so it doesn't restart the battle, instead you get this cutscene of capturing the bandit boss for the bounty and whatnot. Uh-oh, stragglers. Just kidding, they're actually talking about taking up the throne. Another bit of humor. So now the mayor's content and stuff. Oh no! I can't believe I was denied the cute little spinning hug animation. That sucks! Like, what even was that? Such a cute and wholesome animation. I can't believe that it glitched out like that. It's so heartwarming. tilts me. So now Lisa has officially returned to the village. Tasty. Emotional music. Now she gives us the lifesaver. Finally. All this time I haven't needed it and now I'm scooping it up. I don't know if I mentioned, but Gale's bed does not count towards the Fluffy Pillow Connoisseur badge. That covers it for this part. Progress report. 16 heart rubies, 11 energy gems, 50 moonstones. Make sure all those counts check out. Just look at my notes. Yeah. Caught a few fish. Farmed out the quick hits, hard hits, and treasure hunter badges. That's about all of note, really. Until the next part.